The Painter, The Bomber War Book 2, written by James Phillip, narrated by Lesley Parkin. My name is Krista, and on that day in September 1944 when the fire came, I was 14 years of age. Mein Name ist Krista, und an diesem Tag, im September 1944, als das Feuer kam, ich 14 Jahre alt war. Chapter 1. Before the Fire. My life has been lived in 3 parts. The first part of my life ended on the afternoon of Saturday 30th of September 1944. This period of my life I think of as before the fire. I lived with the fire until April 1945. Every day of my life since has been after the fire. This book is a little about the first part of my life, mainly about the second, and very little to do with the third. I was still a child when the fire came. By the time it had burned itself out, I had left childhood behind. The world around me had changed forever, and I was no longer the person I had been before the coming of the fire. But that is to begin at the end, never a wise thing to do in the telling of any story. I shall begin at the beginning. Chapter 2. The Hoseks and the Ruprechters. It happened that I was born on the evening of Sunday the 14th of September 1930, the day that my country began to go mad. My parents might have suspected as much, but on that late summer evening they were beyond caring, because at last, after long years of aching despair, they had, in my diminutive, squalling person, finally contrived to bring into the world their child. The day I was born, 6,379,672 of my fellow German citizens voted for the Nationalsozialistische Deutsche Arbeiterpartei, the NSDAP, in English the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or in its commonly abbreviated form the Nazi Party, in the federal elections of 1930. Overnight, the Nazis went from being the 9th largest party in the Reichstag, with just 12 seats, to the second biggest, with 107. The Weimar Republic, that false dawn of reason and democracy between the downfall of the Hohenzollern Second Reich in 1918 and the rise of the Third Reich under the Nazis, would be swept away in a little less than 30 months. My parents were never really very political, although that might simply have been because when I was young, to be in any way demonstrably political, other than in faithfully repeating and carefully adhering to the mantras of the Nazis, was the sort of thing that got whole families thrown into concentration camps. And no, I knew nothing of those places as a child, until the time just before the fire came,